You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Bar Rescue After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Bar Rescue After Show.
If you get in trouble, bring it home to me. Whether I am...
Hello, everyone. This is AFTERBUZZ TV Bar Rescue Season 4, Episode 2, John of the Dead. Great title. I'm your host, Keven Undergaro. In the booth, Phil Svitek. Across from me, my two lady friends.
Hi.
All right, who are you, lady friends?
Dorinda Barker. McKenzie Fayne.
Very excited. I've got my bartender. I've got my waitress. By the way, Phil, good job on bringing in the theme. You brought it in on the lyrics, on the vocals, as opposed to last week where you had a little bit of a build-up. Very nice. And once again, the great Sammy Davis Jr.
I love him.
You can count on me because you can always count on John Taffer. So, by the way, John's book is, we remind you again, I ordered it on Amazon. It's #1 in its category.
Ooh.
And I haven't received it yet. So I'm at a little bit of a loss. But hopefully in the next few days I'll have it. I ordered it last week. I'm on Prime, Amazon too. So one of the things I'd heard is it already had sold out. And that happened with Maria's book as well. So,
that's awesome.
Which is good.
I'm not surprised, though.
Yeah. Well, I think every bar owner in America probably buys that book.
Yeah.
You know.
Even if you're not a bar and just a fan of the show.
Absolutely.
And also, to be honest, John has taught me a lot about life. Well, I knew a lot about life, but like other, you know what I'm saying? It makes me seem like I lived in a cave. I knew nothing before John.
No, I didn't. I knew nothing. Phil, Phil, how much did you know before the show?
Not a lot.
No, I'd say all the time, like, I make bad business decisions. I'm like, wait, I learned everything on Shark Tank. I don't know any better. But now with John, absolutely. But one of the things I'm excited about, and I was reading a lot of the great reviews, is they were talking about how much marketing he talks about in the book. So again, it's going to go beyond just drinks and the kitchen. And then to me, marketing is universal. Thank you. Great drop.
The more you know.
That's it. Anyway,
now where's Mariska Hargitay?
I wish I got the book sooner so we could talk about it. But we will talk about it next week. McKenzie, your book report is due.
It will be here.
So we'll have it next week.
Yeah.
Something else I want to say before I get into this episode, which no surprise, I loved.
Yeah.
We get a lot of fan mail here about this show. And most of it is great. People are like us. They're obsessed with the show. But then there are those people that are hating on, sometimes us, which is fine. And then sometimes on the show, trying to poke those holes in the show. We see it with some of the belligerent owners, afterwards. We see it with some of the handful of regulars that love these places before they change. And then we just see it with general cynical people. And, we've some of the emails we've received have said, why don't you, look into this and, look into the background of this situation, or why don't you find out the truth, what really went on? And, I have a lot to say about it. So I just wanted to say before we get started with the show, Dorinda, I'm just going to I'll take myself out of the equation. I'm going to take McKenzie out because she's too young.
Okay.
How much have you been handed in your life?
A lot.
So, really? People have handed you things?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's what I mean.
I'm talking about a different, nothing. No.
So, right? How much have you been handed in terms of money or just
nothing?
Promotion? Right.
No,
okay.
Not much.
So, when you have John Taffer, who is paid tens of thousands of dollars hourly for what he does, and you have this production company, and then you have all John's contacts who come in and renovate the place. I mean, you're talking about anywhere from $200,000 to $1 million worth of work being done to your establishment. Then on top of it, as I always say, because we're doing a reality show now, and as I'm like, going back and forth with people who are on the show, then let's talk about what advertising dollars cost. So let's talk about what a 22-minute ad on Spike's #1 show would cost you. Okay, so let's just talk about that. So, and now, if that's not enough for you, you're asking this guy to come in for 4 days, physically to do the work. It's just brutal, and then to make all of those decisions that quickly on the fly, it's a level of genius. Mistakes are going to be made. Shit's going to fall through the cracks. It's just how it is. But as I always say, would you like to have all of that gifted to you or not? If you don't do the show. But me, I'm taking the $1 million worth of stuff. I'm taking the tap systems. I'm taking the new tables. I'm taking I'm taking all the information. I'm taking the 22 minutes of ad space. Thank you very much. And if you're that hung up on some of the way you do things, we've seen it with some bars, do it. And then, but we've seen the ones who find that balance, who tweak the name back to whatever they wanted it to be. Fine. But don't tell me, when you go back to last week and you saw what was a warehouse bomb shelter, it was just an abandoned place for raves that's of 3 or 4 nights a week. Don't effing tell me that these guys, that John and Bar Rescue went into that place and did anything wrong, because anything was an upgrade, and they left a beautiful establishment behind. That's all I know. And if you don't think that place was doomed, forget about it. It was doomed. And if you really watched that show and you saw the mess and the filth, it should have been shut down a long time before that. But it's not just last week. It's just for the continuing. So just so you guys know why we don't look into the backgrounds and what really happened and all that. I don't want to know. I don't care. Because you know what? No one's ever come into AfterBuzz or some of the other properties I have and handed me $250,000 or $1 million, ever. And I'm sure you guys listening, no one's ever done that for you either. And certainly not 22 minutes worth of advertising. So if you're that type of person that's going to get that and bitch, well, you know what? That's just who you are. And that's why you are a TF, a total failure.
Yep.
So now I said my piece, because this has just really just been irritating me week after week here. But I'm going to throw it back to you, because Dorinda, maybe you've had all this stuff handed to you.
No.
Phil, these guys are younger. I get it. But 17 years in the bar business, who's ever walked into your life and said, okay, no problem. Here you go. Let me just give you this. I'll give you that. I'll give you this. I'll give you that. Right?
Nobody's ever done that. And to be honest, I agree with you 100%, and that's why when some of these people I've talked to certain bar owners that we haven't had on the show for reasons because of I just couldn't stand them after I talked to them.
Right.
Is because well they did this, but they didn't set us up for this. Well, they did this, and this had to be. And then we found out that there was a list that they left. Okay, we weren't able to get to this, but this is what needs to be fixed. Oh, well, it really was just a garage door. Well, you know what? He made it look like it was something more than a garage door. So people who are just entitled, that's the word. It's entitled that those people that Bar Rescue comes in, they fix your place. You choose to take that information John gives you. You choose to take it or not take it. That's up to you. But you can't be upset when they do something to your bar to make it better.
Right. And so I go to the bar. So I go to the pirate one. So let's just say corporate wasn't. Maybe that one was too drastic.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. So put up another sign. He made the place beautiful for you. He made it a much more beautiful bar and drinking establishment. So you know what? Hang your goddamn swords, whatever like is pirate wear, put some cannonballs out there, I don't know, put one-eyed Pete back out front, and you know what, you still just got, I mean, I want to go to that bar.
I still want to go to that bar.
We all want to go to that bar. Thank you for their 22-minute ad they got on Spike's #1 show.
Yeah.
And by the way, I also want to say, I love Skinny Pete.
Yeah.
Okay, how many minutes in? So 9 minutes in, and we're talking about pirates.
pirate.
But I really do love Skinny Pete. I also I always say, like, because we hammer the Pirates Bar,
Yeah.
he was awesome. He was really sweet. He was really passionate, and for him to do the 180 like he did, it just was. It was anyway. But
Yeah, and to be honest with you, even the owner who called in, she was still respectful in her own way.
No, but she said no. But Dorinda,
yeah,
she
did.
She said that no, nothing they did was any good.
That's
She said
true.
it
Now
was
I sound
all
like
the
Ian
ways.
Kaiser.
Yeah, you're being like Ian. She said nothing, and I'm like nothing at all. And I said, well, you know what? Then obviously, you don't understand business.
No,
You know.
and it's true. I just don't understand. Someone comes in, you are the one who writes the letter. They, not you, Kevin,
yeah.
but the business owners are the ones that write this letter to Bar Rescue, to the casting directors, to say this has to change.
Rescue my bar.
Exactly. And then you turn around and say, you're a jerk, you ruined this. No, it was ruined before they even walked in the door.
Do you think that has anything to do with making TV, though? Because clearly they want them to come.
Yeah, because
No, okay, so let me. No, I'm glad you said that. So let me speak to that point as well. So fans, we want a good show. All right, we're making a television show. We're rescuing bars and we're making television. It's got to be entertaining. It just has to be, or it's not going to succeed. If it doesn't succeed, he's not going to be able to make more shows. He's not going to be able to fix other bars, and he's not going to get the ratings and the eyeballs on those bars.
Yeah.
So, yes, it has to be compelling. Okay, I'm a producer. I know it has to be compelling. That's just how it is.
Or someone loses their job.
Or
a bunch of people lose
or
their
we're
job.
not watching the show and the show goes off the air.
Yes.
Okay? Like, just how it is. But at the end of the day, when he walks away, I mean, am I seeing, are these prop signs? Are these prop turbo tap systems? Are these prop POS systems? Are these prop jukeboxes? Then tell me that. And then tell me they rolled them out the minute after they shot. Okay. Then you know what? I'm all in, to quote Brandon. Was it, yeah.
I don't know.
No, he wasn't all in. I'm short-circuiting.
Brandon was Janet Jackson.
Yeah. All in was the other guy.
Play some effing Janet!
Yeah, the other guy was all in. I'm all in. Sorry. I'm sorry. But I'm saying, then we're cooking TV.
Yes.
And then you know what? Now you got me. But what he's doing is real. The stuff he's installing is real.
Yeah.
Phil, do you want to weigh in at all, or did I say it all?
Okay, well, I'll say this because here's what most people don't realize, and I'm gonna quote ironically Evan Almighty. This is God speaking in the movie. He says, "Let me ask you something. If someone prays for patience, do you think God gives them patience, or does He give you the opportunity to be patient?" And to that point, you know, I mean, so many people want to be handed stuff in life, and you know what? The ironic thing to me is most people are actually handed stuff, but they just don't see it because it's right in front of their face, just like the Pirates lady. And John said, like, "Hey, okay, he's basically told her, I'm a winged angel, but you're not accepting the help. What more could you want?" And she said, "Well, I just want to be a pirate." You know, but people don't see that. People don't see that. People don't see the opportunity. Most people are handed shit every day, and they don't see it.
And by the way, if that is just an awesome segue tonight's episode, because you know what? I just want to be a pirate. And you know what? No. I take away everything I just said. I want to be a pirate too. I love that's going to be my new line when I get when I do business with people and they scream at me for coming up short. You know, stop yelling. I just want to be a pirate.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
We were in a meeting with Phil, right? The other day, we were in a meeting. We were sitting in this room, and once again, the pirates came up. I just want to be a pirate.
I just want to be a pirate. I want to be a pirate too. Okay, so we have two rock stars from back in the early 90s.
Yeah,
was the heyday.
Yeah, like 90s heavy death metal. I was thinking.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, this was one where they threw me. Mm-hmm. The owners, the head bartender, or whatever we're calling him, threw me because I prejudged them, and they all turned out to be something different than what I thought.
Yes.
But again, feel free to chime in and disagree.
Well, within the first 10 minutes, Bar Rescue did something that hasn't been done in a long time.
We keep changing the format.
Which I love it.
Love it. So go ahead.
Because you're not getting bored.
Yes.
Because that's the thing. If you keep the format.
We're making a TV show.
Exactly.
Right.
Is that Jessie, turquoise hair Jessie.
Yep.
I wanted to reach into the TV and rip his larynx out.
Yeah.
Anything that I could do because to list him not to talk. He's a good-looking dude too. And I even said that when we were watching. I was like,
Right.
he's actually kind of good-looking.
Right.
I wouldn't bring him home to my parents. But the thing is, the way he spoke to women was just atrocious. Yeah. Atrocious. Even on the, did you see the girl's face on the recon?
Yeah, she was pleased.
She was just.
Guy with the green hair. She's like,
She
can't.
was like, and he just kept going, and the look on her face, I was waiting for her to either throw her drink at him or go across the bar and do something, because she was not having it. Not having it at all. And then having the owners every half hour check the till, that would drive me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be able to stay in a place like that, because you have to have that trust. You have to have that. If not, you're in trouble. And these guys didn't know how once again, they went and opened a bar because they played in bars for so long, they thought that they could run a bar.
Right.
And I don't know a lot of people who are in a band that decide to open up a bar that it's successful, you know, unless they had been in the business for a long time.
Right.
And these guys just didn't know what they were doing. Like, look at the pizza.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
disgusting.
Yeah, the pizza was terrible.
Pizza and grill and Underworld.
And I liked Underworld as a title.
Yeah.
I
No.
did too.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine. The decor, definitely needed something to.
It reminded me of like going to like your aunt's house who's really crazy about Halloween.
She's got all
Yeah,
the
it was so
decorations.
cheesy. I didn't get it.
Yeah, it was cheesy. And I couldn't take the counting of the money. Or I've had those kind of guys that are type A, and he looked like again, I think a lot of people on this show just love to hit the bottle and a lot of other substances, and I think he'd had his share.
Oh, he had a party or two.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're no longer into that, it's replaced with other sessions. It's being OCD about so every 5 minutes you're counting something or whatever. I thought the other guy was probably the sweeter of the two, but again, I'm really smart. I'm very smart. I'm really surprised.
Yes, Kevin, you're really smart.
I am not smart. I am really surprised at the way these guys really arced.
Yes.
Because from the beginning of the show, I was like, oh, God, talk about having to fix people and not a bar. There's no way he's going to be able to fix this. If this guy's giving away all free drinks and he's just being disrespectful to women, and then he's living that punker vibe, which is just F you, F the man, I do what I want. And God, even when he was just giving Russell a hard time, just to see how far they came. Anyway, we'll get into all the stuff. So recon-wise, and I love our pizza man.
Yeah, pizza guy.
Pizza guy was great.
Giamatti?
Tony.
Well, it was great by him. Every time they cut him, he was working. Like a lot of times they sit back and they observe and let the other people. No, from the stress test to the actual night of the grand opening. Yeah, he was in there working.
I like him a lot. And the last time they had him, he was working too. That was on the one that didn't have the kitchen open because of the family incident.
So yeah, they had him dialed in. And it's nice to have pizza because it's just so easy. It's not you deal with how many ingredients, so few.
And it fills you up.
Right.
And
it
what
makes
it is,
you want to drink.
Exactly,
Yes.
makes you want to drink, fills you up. And what was it? 22% food costs. I think that's what he said, right? Or was it 33%?
40. Oh,
40% is it went up 40%.
Yeah, that was it.
So I think it was 22% food cost, which is nothing for pizza.
Right.
And it's cheap to make.
It's cheap to make.
All
And by
those
the way,
things-
and how great are they with even Bar Rescue giving us the science of how to make a pizza?
I loved it. They like the anatomy of pizza.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
It was so cool.
It was. And now, you know what? I'm totally going to steal all that.
Don't you want to go make, can we
absolutely.
go make a pizza after this?
Yes.
Oh, I would love to.
Well, I'm hungry. But
I always want to drink after this show.
Exactly.
I want to party. Even every time that John's done with a bar, I'm like, oh, I want to just party there.
I know.
But anyway, so let's stay with it. So, Phil, what were your thoughts on Recon?
My thoughts on Recon, I mean, it's the same as you guys. I was very prejudiced against everybody. And I don't know, I had a bad feeling about this bar, but I loved the episode that it could totally just change my viewpoint just on people. Not to necessarily judge and have a little bit more patience with people because you can get results.
But I have a question. Were you guys surprised at all that they got over the stealing the drinks so fast?
I was, but he didn't he gave drinks away, which is stealing, but he wasn't putting money in his pocket. So that's why I think
You think it was a difference?
I think you can work with that a little bit. When someone's putting money in their pocket, it's like a drug they take. You got to get them out. You can't,
Yeah, I don't think you can justify that,
It's like they
really.
taste blood and that's it.
Well, I think a lot of it too, and here's the idiocy of bartending, I call it, is if you're not personally taking the money, like charging them $5 but not putting it in the till, you're like, oh, just my tip's gonna get better. That's it. So you're just thinking I'm just getting tipped instead of I'm stealing. That's what they're thinking. They're going into the
But
hospital.
but you know it's not like that. It's just a sleazy, like, kind of way of going about it.
Yeah,
making
it
money.
is. It definitely is. But I understand where he was coming from. But I also think he, as much of an idiot as I don't think that he really stole from them.
Here's what I think for me, the reason why it did end up working okay was the fact that everyone realized somewhere along in this they were at fault. You know, and I think I will credit the owners for accepting the blame eventually, and so, but you know, when they were all confronted with each other, you know, a lot of the truths were coming out, and you know, it still was gray for everybody, and so it was like, okay, we're all to blame here, one way or another.
I loved how nobody was screaming and yelling, and everybody was calm and listened and really just took everything in. That made obviously their lives a lot easier.
True. But I really thought within the first 5 minutes that Jesse was a goner.
Oh yeah, me too.
Within the first, I was like, this is going to be a bar rescue first.
He dodged many bullets.
He's lucky.
He was bad with the women. He was giving away drinks. Then he got in. He failed the stress test. He was just making a mess, and then he was. You got to back off, not being my face man. And then Russell got in his face. I'm like, oh boy, Russell's a good old boy from Texas.
Yeah, that is not one person you mess with.
Oh, that's the deputy.
Yeah,
Sheriff John's right hand.
Because he's your type of guy who will take and take and take, and then boom, it's like you let that bull out. That bull ain't coming back until the red is gone out of its eyes.
Little Southern justice, baby.
Exactly.
Texas style.
Walker Ranger.
Yeah. And he backed down. Obviously, Jesse was going to back down, which he did. But I was stunned, and when at the turnaround as well, I was.
Yeah, it was such a. This episode to me felt like a much different episode than Bar Rescue normally is. I mean, we still had all the elements, but I think the way the show ran a little differently.
We're seeing different. They're playing with structure every week, which I like. Great. Mm-hmm. And I thought even their come to Jesus, which usually happens, I feel like it happens when after the renovation came before.
Yes.
They all were had their moment where they owned up to all their problems, and we've let you down as owners. And then the workers were like, I thought, and I'm sorry, the taller, skinnier one,
Chris.
I was really impressed with him as a leader when he took responsibility, and then what he said to the staff was like, but guys, I really, I think if we work together, and it was pretty awesome to see.
It was good because at first you thought, oh, he's not going to take that responsibility. Right. You're like, he's not, and then all of a sudden he changed it. So I thought as far as people this time, it was pretty amazing to see how the condition can change because people are conditioned into a certain way.
And it was funny because they were so thankful for what they were getting. And I love to see that because they are, like you said, they're getting so much. And they were thankful, and I loved it. So
let's talk about the, Phil, should we go on to the renovation?
Well, I do want to say, it's of note that, so Russell did it at 1 minute and 32 seconds when they're training, right?
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
and Tracy. Go ahead.
No, I said, we were watching it. I'm glad. Thank you, Phil, for saying that. I'm going to say this. I think Tracy could very well be the best bartender we've ever seen. Like, she didn't need any. Usually they are all screw ups and they need some kind of attention. Or it's like a waitress who's always been aspiring to be one, and she comes in, she's actually doing very well. Yeah. But this girl, she matched Russell's time.
She was good. She was just a little bit, just a little behind him, but she did it.
I mean, it's just crazy because Russell's the best in the world.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah.
Well, she was a minute over him, but
But a minute over him is fine.
Yeah, he's
because,
he's world. I mean, he's like the world fastest in the world. It's like So I mean, but we've never seen that, and she did it well. I mean, he gave them the minute and a half, and she did it, and plus she was honest. But anyway, beyond the honesty, I think we may have seen one of the best employee bartenders.
Yeah, and she just did her job, just
solid.
Like the Bevan Tell.
And she was only part-time,
44 cents off, baby.
That's it. I love that Bevan Tell, but yet it eats at my soul, that Bevan Tell. I get so excited when it happens, and then you go...
It's a company, and then John's always great. It's a company called Bevan Tell. It's always great.
This gets an F. This bar gets an F.
Yeah.
Your laugh is so contagious. It's so funny.
I love it. In 2:43, what was it? 2:43, and he rang in 2:50.
50 something, yeah.
Yeah.
How?
Gave away those drinks.
But you know, I was also for that big bar.
Yeah.
Right. That what's scary is that big giant bar could hold 250 people, and the fact that that's all they were ringing in and what he gave away. I mean, they're not ringing. Even if he was honest, there's not a lot of money coming in there.
No, $500. $500 is not going to pay the rent on that house. It's not going to keep the roof there.
No.
And and especially that bar was really set up well.
Yeah.
Because he is right on the grooves. People do stay longer because they first feel like they're also have their own space. And they're in their own thing, but they can still see people and you can still communicate with people.
I love the round, the booths. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, no. I'm talking about the bar itself. It had like the squares.
Oh, the hook,
corners.
They called
yeah,
it,
the
right?
hook.
The
yeah,
hook.
yeah. You're so good.
Yeah, she's good. This one, she's all right.
Good, guys. I'm glad.
This seems like a very simple thing to me, but this is a little bit more back in the recon. But obviously, they set them up during the renovation to actually have alcohol. Because if you're a bar and you're like, okay, I'd like beer. We don't have any beer on draft.
Oh, I know, that was crazy.
Oh, okay, could we have Captain? We don't have Captain. Don Julio. Try again. If you're gonna serve customers, you gotta have something to serve them.
And
you only had one bottle of Seagram's up. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah,
one bottle of Seagram's.
And then Jesse's also like, yeah, that won't happen. You're so rude.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, but here's the thing. For me, in defense of him at that point, like, what are you supposed to say? Like, if you don't have the necessary stuff, like,
you set up for failure.
They said they were saying they were embarrassed, but that you just don't say it. I don't even know what to compare it to. You're not.
You try to swing them into buying something else.
Not even that. Just say like, "Oh, I'm
sorry,
I'm
we don't
have
it."
Yeah,
right.
be professional. That wasn't professional at all.
That's that punk culture.
Yeah, well, I got this great new drink. It's called Seagram's and 7.
Yeah.
Have any of it?
You're gonna love it.
It's great.
All right, Phil, can we go to renovation or no?
Sure.
So, okay, I love the title, the name, the end.
Okay.
I like the Underworld better.
You like Underworld better?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean,
Underworld,
not
by the
for
way,
the apocalypse.
Underworld is fine.
Yeah, but it reminds me of Vampires and Valkyrie and Kate Beckinsale. And Scott Speedman and a werewolf. Lycans.
Also thought, I don't know, it just made me think when I'm like, well, we're going to the Underworld, like it's going to be like an nightclub.
Going to Underworld.
Fun,
But I think in the past, one of the main reasons he's done this, and I think in this one they didn't talk about it, but the fact that people know it as a failed bar, so you're not going to go to a place called Underworld if it's already failed.
If it's going to stink on it.
Like no, now it's good now. Right. No, it's just if you just change the name, it's a totally different place. Of like, hey, where we're going. Oh, the end? Oh, is that a new bar? Yeah, it's a new bar. Check it out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah, and I agree with why John does it. I mean, he's only kept a few bars the same name.
Right.
But it's because they've had the longevity. Like Dimples. You can't change Dimples. Because,
or Champs.
Or Champs.
There's a couple of them been around
and then there was one in Colorado, I can't remember.
Right.
But those, I think, are the only 3 that he actually kept the names to because they were synonymous. And if you change the name, people wouldn't get it and stuff. But I mean, I like the end. They weren't going to have it though. I thought these guys weren't going to have it.
It was interesting, when it was nice. We haven't had a battle like in a while. Like I felt like the earlier episodes, he would say, "I've got to change the name." Oh no, the name is everything. Like we haven't heard that in a while,
No.
so it was kind of nice that we worked so hard on the brand.
You mean
I promise.
what brand?
Yeah, exactly.
No offense, guys. What brand?
What brand? But the end, I love the name. I thought the exterior was great. You know, it was great to get rid of that big giant tent.
And you couldn't see anything.
Right,
And
no.
he was right, because like the tree was in front of a lot of things. Like there was a tree, and so you couldn't see the other half of the awning that said like half price drinks. I'm not sure what it said, but there was writing. But the tree was there, so
Right.
you couldn't see any of that stuff.
Backlighting on the
Right.
yeah, it was
Everything
great.
was better. And,
Yeah.
And so going inside, and we all talked about, we liked the round booths. I mean, there was a lot of redeeming things about the bar
Even before the renovation.
before the renovation.
Yeah.
But when we got in there, you know, once again, it's just like the tap system. I mean, like, you know, and
They ran out of glasses.
well,
like-
of course, like that's a no-brainer. The unbreakable glasses, but the DJ system and the dance floor and the lighting, and I mean, it looks like a really fun bar to go in Vegas.
Yeah, and he definitely does do this season. I think they're taking it a step up too, because even from the first episode, the way they did the renovations, I love the renovations from the last episode, and I love the renovations with this episode, and I like how this time was different, and we talked about it in the room, where he actually explained to them why he was changing. He didn't tell them why because of the name, because of a failed bar, but he said, "I'm changing it because this isn't right. This feels like Halloween,
Yeah.
and I don't think this is what you guys wanted."
Right.
And he said, "That's why we're doing it this way." Because he walked in and there was all the, you know, the decorations on the floor.
Gotcha.
And I just think that, and I think we all agree on this, him explaining it to them made them back off, saying, "Okay." And then when he said post-apocalyptic, they could see it in
They
their
got
head a little
excited.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think being rock stars too, they were creative.
Yeah.
They were creative enough to understand the vision.
But it also served the double purpose of when you're explaining the food menus and you're explaining the drink menus, how are you going to teach, like, okay, the pizza's set up in such a way because it's all kind of canned stuff, right? Pineapple comes from the can.
Yeah.
The meat, you know, we're kind of...
Spam.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's all preserved.
And it's like, yeah, the end of the world, it's, hey, listen, that's all we can eat is pizza. Like, you know,
Exactly.
That's kind of fun.
And Spam, because Spam and Twinkies, we all know, will last past we.
Long time.
Past us. Or we.
Phil, while we talk about the arc, can you look into where this bar's at now?
I'll give it a whirl.
So this is where we got to see Jesse was a great bartender. Did you see his hands?
Yeah, I mean,
you can't fake those moves.
No,
he had the double shakedown. He had the Russell shake. He had, you know, he was pouring drinks really quickly. All his regulars were back. Could you see? I mean, you could see like his core people, but then he had. It's funny if you watch that show again. If you watch this episode again, you can tell because you saw they got recycled. They all came back to support him again.
I mean, I gotta hand it to a guy who was awful talking to women. He had a lot of women came in to see him, and
yeah, that was surprising.
I think because I think a lot of people think it's funny.
Well, I do think that
Because
people,
I think a stranger's not going to think it's funny because you don't know him. But I think if you know him,
because I can't believe he's like that to the women he knows all the time. I would hate to think that, because if not, these women would have real big issues.
By the way, what was his line about chloroform? I want to use that. That was
Does
great.
it smell like chloroform?
No, then he said something afterwards.
Oh, you're not gonna fall for it this time.
This
Oh,
time.
that's what it was.
That's hilarious. I'm totally using that. But I loved how he hung in and he came around and he embraced it.
He was just too confident. He looked at that girl. He came over and he's like, "You just have the sexual look in your eyes."
But even he was that confident with his cocky with his bartending ability, and then Russell just called him out like, "You're so cocky and like you suck." But
he flipped it and used it in a good way, which was good.
Unlike last
week's guy,
the best bartender in the world, decided
Right.
to
Excuse us, we probably shouldn't be saying it.
Right.
Well, you know.
All right, we got a great update.
All right, 1 second, Phil. So let's save
Okay.
it because let's go through the arcs. The owners, I thought, were great too. You know, they really embraced the changes.
They did, and they really, even in the kitchen, they worked in the kitchen. They did
Yep.
everything that needed to be done. and they gelled again. Because I felt like did anyone else feel between the two guys there was somewhat of a little bit of a tension?
They were very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think they were very different.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot going on there and stuff we didn't see.
Probably.
I wish I would have liked to have seen that part of the episode too, to see what was going on between them.
Phil, what do we have for updates?
All right, they are calling it the end, but they're also they're still kind of half calling it the Underworld. Like the Facebook page is the Underworld Grill and Bar. Only I think it's still left over, and they don't want to confuse people, especially now that the episode's out. Yeah. But tonight, hard dance style at its best: $3 shots, $3.75 pints, $10 or 10 p.m. no cover.
Oh, let's go.
Come on.
Oh, so don't seriously. I'll get us right to Burbank Airport. We'll totally go. Don't tempt me. It's Vegas, so it stays up. It's open late.
Yeah, it's open to 5 a.m.
Yeah, it's from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. So it looks like, you know, that they're still going strong and things like that. And they have retained the name of The End or kept that. Nice. Although, you know, they're still trying to explain to people, it seems that, you know, the Underworld is The End. So it's the same kind of bar, but just better. I
figured probably after the episode, you think they'll focus more on The End? Because I think before it was kind of weird because they probably didn't want to, because I know some of these places don't want their big reveal until the show itself happens.
Maybe, yeah.
So I think
it's The End now because how many, you know, they didn't have a lot of regulars. It didn't seem like anyone's going to be upset that Underworld was gone other than them.
Yeah. No, I mean, and Eater LA did a review on them and talked about the food and said the food's amazing and they take pride in it. They said even the bartenders take pride in the food, which was not happening on the episode that we even saw.
I love it because I always say it's the hardest thing is to fix the people. You can fix the show. I mean, you can fix the bar, but if you don't fix the people, forget it. So seems like a happy ending. Another bar rescue.
And that's what John does when he goes into a bar. I feel it's more about the people than it is the bar most of the time.
Of course.
And and like
because he's gonna fix the bar. But he also has to fix.
Right. He knows. He's the bar. Like forget it. He's gonna. But again, that's how hard his job is.
Yeah. I mean,
you have 4 days to fix the bar, which is enough to do in 4 days. It's almost impossible, and then you really have to fix all the knuckleheads.
Yeah, I mean, especially when he has the family ones, because those are always the hardest ones. Because working with family is so hard, and working in that business with family is even harder.
Right.
Because I've seen it. And it ain't pretty if you don't know how to get along because egos get in the way and fist fights happen and someone gets knocked out on the dance floor and it's awesome because they're not my family. But
let me share more of this update, right? So here's a really great review. The service, this bar and grill is well managed and everything is done the old school, high quality way. And it also states that every Sunday night they do a Walking Dead viewing party.
Nice.
Oh, I would go see the Walking Dead
go there. Great.
Awesome. That is perfect. Maybe we should do that.
We should do that. Have some pizza. Yeah, I want to
have some spam. This is the only time in my life I will have spam. This is the only time in my life I was like, oh, spam looks good.
I don't know.
It's 8 o'clock now.
I'm sorry.
I don't think we can get to Burbank.
No, you know what? I think we can, actually.
No, because the last flight, they don't go out as late as you think.
God damn it.
I don't think we can make it.
Darn it!
Yeah.
But I definitely want to try the spam pizza, and I loved Walking Dead, so that would be the perfect place to watch it.
Yeah, it looks like fun.
And it's just crazy, and I like when he does Vegas.
I do too.
He said we're back.
It's a lot of work because it's so competitive. I mean, think of all the bars there, you guys. That's real tough.
What about the syringe shots? Those are awesome.
Oh, so cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah, really good.
People are gonna go for that signature thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that will be their thing. And Russell, once again, Russell Davis,
killed it.
Yeah, awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's good.
I could just watch Russell Davis on his own show.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just, you know, I know him and John, they all talk, and I know because Duffy had explained it to me, that they all work together. It's really John's idea.
Yeah, that's the all-star crew.
Yeah, it's true. It is the all-star.
Yeah,
it's John
Duffy.
Russ and Duff. But John comes up with the idea, and then they all work together. But whoever came up with the syringe idea,
That was
fun.
great. Yeah.
is brilliant.
Because they were saying the thing about it was they're not going to hold it all night. It's something they're just
unless
gonna,
they're going to get into like fights,
Yep.
like little shot fights.
Oh yeah.
Of course, I think about that.
Gets people talking, gets people mingling,
Yeah,
But yeah, it's something you just like syringe down.
and you get it's something to talk about.
Yeah.
You're
Like, let's get 2 syringes. Do you want to go? Let's
Oh
go
yeah, and
to
then
the
some
bar.
guy comes up to you and is like, "Hey," and then he goes,
Okay, sorry.
"Sorry about that," but you know what I mean? Like sees a cute girl, and goes, "Hey," and he like does a little syringe.
Brings
in
you just a little syringe.
Oh, you know what I
Exactly.
just connected? I may be dumb for doing
What?
this, but I just connected. Do you want a shot? Like,
There you go.
All right. Phil, anything else?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
it's been a long time.
predictions.
Uh-oh.
Oh, prediction.
So, our TiVo got cut off.
Yeah,
So.
Oh yeah.
that's the one.
Did you?
I know. I didn't. My thing got cut off because I think it's a
Phil.
direct TV thing, to be honest with you. So you can't see it. But I know that we can predict.
Are we doing Hurricane Sandy next week?
Oh,
I know John's excited about that one.
that has to be coming up because it's the 1 year anniversary. Coming up next week, actually.
Phil, anything for predictions?
You guys keep talking. I'll get you some intel.
I'm tired. I don't know what else to talk about.
I think that my prediction would be. I really hope they do some more iPhone footage. That was cool.
The raw. Oh, I love the raw footage.
I was waiting for it.
Gritty.
But here's what I like about the raw footage as well is that we didn't see it this week. Meaning it's not cooked. It's not. There's a chance that it's these people just pulling the phone out
Serious.
saying, "Hey, if you see something crazy, guys, feel free." It's producers saying, "If you see something, pull your phone out and shoot it for us. We would appreciate it."
Yeah.
And I like that rather than forced.
All right, so next episode is called Hurricane John versus Hurricane Sandy. So you know what that
Oh,
implies.
that's gonna be a deep one. That's
very-
gonna be a deep
That's
one.
gonna be.
That's gonna be a hard one.
amazing. Yeah, to see
Yeah.
Hurricane John versus perfect, right? Because who?
Yeah,
would
I
you
already
want,
got chills.
Who would you want to take on? I mean, like, I love those guys that are super proactive. I think
Yeah.
of Giuliani when he took on 9/11, and I think like John's that kind of guy
Yeah.
that you could put him in any kind of mess, and he's going to lead you out of it, no matter if it's a bar or
Whatever. He's gonna be the one who says, "Come on, guys,
We'll
let's."
roll up our sleeves and let's take a step back and let's figure out how we pull out of this.
Yeah, and it's I can't wait because he takes on a bar that was pretty much demolished.
It could be the
Yeah,
one. It could
this
be,
is the one where he builds from the ground. He builds a whole bar.
no.
Wow.
Wait, I think this is the one. He talked
Wow.
about it, and he builds it from the ground up.
Wow. Well, I don't know.
So
I think-
now
and I
with
think- yeah.
saying that, I want to know what kind of bar he's going to do. If he's going to do the center bar, the hook bar.
I think probably depending on what the area is.
You think?
I would. That's what I'm thinking, because of right in that area. You know that area, right?
Yeah.
Pretty well. Because I'm a Jersey Shore girl. You have those shore bars where a lot of it is the oval, because then everybody can see, and it's very like tropical. Because oval is always like a tropical-y thing.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. It could be an
think?
oval-y bar.
I think
But
I like that.
I'm
idea.
interested to see what he's going to do. It's going to be a hard one, but a great one at the same time.
I'm excited. Okay, so Dorinda, where do I find you?
You can find me at Lula Cherry Films on Twitter and at Dorinda B1 on Instagram.
Very nice. McKenzie Fayne, where do I find you?
You can find me on Twitter at McKenzie Fayne. And that's all.
I have to
That's
follow
all.
you.
You have to.
I know.
I
I'm
need to
not
tweet
doing it.
more.
Yeah, you got to tweet more.
I know. I have to get better at
I never do.
tweeting.
I don't even know how to do it. At Undergaro, I don't know why I say that. And Phil, take us out.
Follow us here at AfterBuzz TV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff, and of course support the show.
AfterBuzz has an Instagram?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, I
girl,
know.
we got an Instagram.
I didn't know we had Instagram.
I didn't know we had an Instagram.
I announce it every show.
Insta scam. Insta scam.
Instagram.
Insta scam.
I
Love
put a
it.
lot of pictures up this weekend.
I'll
too.
tell you what else we have. We have a movie that is now available on DVD. A lot of you fans have been wondering, Adventures of Serial Buddies, when the heck does it come out on DVD? Well, guess what? It is out now on DVD, so go purchase it. A lot of you have been waiting for that, so that's the good news.
And
Adventures of Serial
let
Buddies.
me add with this: it features a teenage Mackenzie in a cameo role. So check out.
Nice.
Yeah,
And it's got the Fonz.
Order your DVD of Serial Buddies and keep Maria happy. Okay, I'm excited for next week in Hurricane Sandy.
It's going to be a good
Thank
one.
you guys for tuning in. Thank you for allowing me to have my rant, and we'll see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.